Figure Bytes. Figure Bytes. Figure Bytes.
Welcome to another episode of Figure Bytes, bite-sized strategies and tips to help you keep living that six-figure lifestyle. I'm six-figure breakthrough coach Wei Houng at the Six Figure Academy. So today we're going to talk about a term that I've coined recently to help describe how we can get ourselves back into emotional alignment. This term is called emotional synchronicity. Now, why would anybody want to practice emotional synchronicity? Before I explain what emotional synchronicity is, let's talk about the benefits. One, first and foremost, you're happier. And I don't know about you, but I think there are a lot of people, including myself, that throughout our lifetime have fallen out of sync with how and when we express our emotion. How does this even apply to a six-figure lifestyle? Is it possible that if you are not emotionally in alignment when it comes to making decisions about money, when it comes to making decisions on what to do with that money, and when it comes to making decision on how to plan for a future that will take care of not only you, but those you love and care about, if you are emotionally out of alignment? This is why one practices emotional synchronicity, so that we make sure that when we make those decisions, that we are completely aligned and congruent. The side benefits of that, of course, is that it will impact other areas of your life, such as your relationships, such as your health even. Just think about how easy it would be to make decisions when emotionally you are completely synchronized with your being. So let's talk about what emotional synchronicity actually means. Emotional synchronicity is quite simple. It's when you are expressing the emotion that you are feeling in the moment and being in the moment. In other words, whatever you are feeling at that particular moment in time, before you pass any judgment as to whether or not you should openly and fully express that emotion, you express it. You express it fully, you express it 100%, so that your entire being is in alignment with it. What I mean by that, one of the easiest ways to describe this is of how we put ourselves out of alignment is, let's take a work environment where you're at work and you get upset. You get really upset. And because you're out of fear of getting fired, or fear of losing your job, or fear of upsetting somebody, you basically put yourself in the back, at the back of the line, and say, well, I won't express it now, I will express it later. What happens later is that when you try to talk about it and get rid of that negative emotion, you're no longer truly feeling it at that moment, because the event has passed and gone. You actually have to access a distorted version of the memory, your memory of what actually happened, which could be distinctly different than what really truly happened. But in your mind, that's what happened. And try to re-elicit the emotion so that you can deal with it later. That's when you're out of sync. That's when you're expressing emotions. Either the emotion that should have been expressed fully gets expressed not as fully because the charge is gone, or it gets compiled and compounded with all past emotions that are related to a similar event, and then you explode over the top in an inappropriate and unwarranted fashion. So that's the important thing. Now, the same thing applies to emotions, other emotions, positive emotions, such as happiness. How many times have we stopped ourselves from expressing happiness because we didn't want to offend anybody, or we didn't want to make anybody feel bad for not being just as happy? Or men, how about expressing love? In the moment, when you feel it, when you feel an overwhelming sensation and your whole entire body feels it, and instead of expressing it for fear of being not manly enough or too feminine, that you decide you don't want to express it at that moment and you want to save it for later. Well, chances are later when you express it, the charge is gone and it doesn't seem quite the same. You don't notice it because we spend our lifetimes being out of sync. A better way to describe the detriment of being emotionally out of sync is something as simple as your car going out of alignment. Now, the minute you take your car out of getting aligned at the tire station or out of a lot or your service, auto service, your car immediately starts to go out of alignment a little bit at a time. Every turn, every brake, every bump, every time you nudge your car a little bit on one wheel, it starts to go out of alignment. Pretty soon, you don't notice it at first, but eventually you do, because how you notice it is your car starts pulling to the left, or your car starts pulling to the right, or worse yet, you get inappropriate wear of one of the tires and you have a total blowout. At which point, then you go, oh, I am out of alignment. You have to be signaled to say, hey, something happened, and that's why I have to, get my car back in alignment. This is what we're doing with our lives. So practicing emotional synchronicity allows you to get back into alignment. It allows you to emotionally align yourself with your being. And how we do that is simply this. In the moment, the next time you feel any kind of emotion, whether it be positive or negative, whether it be good or bad, allow yourself, before you pass any judgment as to whether or not you should even express it, and express it. Kids do it all the time. Why don't we? And then if you say, well, it's inappropriate, ask yourself, what's inappropriate about that? Is it a fear that drives that? Is it an expectation? Or is it an extension of your ego that is keeping you from actually healing yourself from inside out? Yes, I said the word healing, because it does heal you on an emotional level, which is a very profound level of our unconscious mind that drives all of our autonomous activity in our bodies. Now, we spend a lifetime not practicing this, and so when you first do start practicing emotional synchronicity, it might not be very pleasant. Why? Because initially your emotions might be a little bit off the charts. And that's okay, because as we continue to practice it, the charge becomes less and less, and we become more in line. When you start doing it, if you journal, express fully without holding back, and then also be mindful of what your body feels like. How does it feel? Does it feel warm? Does it feel tingly? Where is it in your body? Is it in your upper part? Is it the lower part? Okay? So when you do that, be mindful of that. You'll be surprised as time goes on, as you continue to practice this. We challenge you to practice this, what kind of impact it will make, not only on your business, on your career, but how it impacts your relationships as well. If you have any questions about that, feel free to contact me or contact us at the Six Figure Academy, or leave a comment below at the bottom of this blog. Hopefully this Six Figure Byte was valuable to you, and if it is, share it, pay it forward, and share it with somebody that actually you feel may be out of alignment as well. And that's your six-figure byte for today. Make sure you subscribe to our website and our blog, our inspiration blog, so that you continue to get updates on the next six-figure byte.
Six-figure bytes. Six-figure bytes. Six-figure bytes.